know why we love fairy tales and movies and mythical stories and all things magic? Is because we want to believe that there is that kind of magic unfolding in our life. We gravitate to stories and movies and music and supposedly make-believe things that have that element of glitter and gold and magic and sparkle. And the interesting thing is that stuff, that magic, those miracles, those things that give us a sense of joy and hope, and we want to immerse ourselves in those things are real. Those things are part of our reality, being human beings on planet Earth. There is a dimension to our reality which is unseen, which is magical, which is miracle-filled, and there's just not, when we're growing up often and in our mainstream society, a lot of attention, conversation put on the fact that there is this incredible magical aspect to reality. Specifically, let's get detailed, that you don't have to navigate your life alone, and your reality is not just what you hear with your ears and see with your eyes. And there is an unseen dimension which interacts with you, which you can interact with proactively to help guide you on your journey. And there are ways that this unseen dimension sneaks through and winks at you and waves at you and sends you signs and synchronicities and messages to help you. And it is an art, it is a symphony, it is beautiful, it's mysterious, it's nuanced, and it's so fun and fascinating to learn about this part of life and your reality. And often we're asleep to it completely until maybe we have a spiritual awakening, or maybe we read a book or something happens to us and we start to wonder, oh wow, something really unusual and unexplainable seems to be going on here. And once we awaken to this dimension of life that is non-physical and realize that we don't have to navigate our life alone, and that there is some kind of divine, intelligent, unseen, benevolent force at play that wants to interact with us and support us, quite often we get very interested in how do I, right? How, question, because that's our human being nature. And how do I? We want to do things. We get very human doing. We want to get practices and processes, and we want to get our mind wrapped around what is this mysterious, beautiful symphony that's happening below the surface of life. And so we do our best in our human being self to try to make sense of everything with our mind and analyze it, and then create a formula by which we can make miracles happen, by which we can make magic happen. Now, I laugh about it because, that's me. I am very formulaic and analytical, and have spent most of my career in doing this spiritual and transformational life coaching, putting things that are ethereal and complex into really simple models for us to utilize to connect with this deeper aspect of ourselves in life, to make life easier to navigate, to make it easier for us to navigate challenges, and more supported to achieve our soul plan and purpose and goals and desires, and also just to explore what it is that's really going on in this reality. So I just want you to know this: miracles are real, magic is real, they are multi-layered, and you can open yourself in your mind and heart and in your energy to be more receptive to this unseen dimension interacting with you in magical and mysterious and miraculous ways that will help you. Help you if you're stuck, help you if you're unsure, help you on your journey to living your greatest soul plan and purpose and your highest potential in this life. And in this episode, we're going to dive deep into that, and I'm excited to share this with you.
You're listening to Practical Spirituality with B, the podcast with spiritual advice for your everyday life, helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic. I'm Bernadette Logue. You can call me B, and I'm excited to share this episode with you.
Oh, so let's dive into this juicy topic about miracles and magic from the unseen dimension. Now, before we start, for those of you that have been listening to my podcast for a while, you'll know that quite often I'm on the road. So I travel a lot for lifestyle and for joy and for exploration. And I often find myself trying to record my podcast in really noisy environments because I'm in random places, random Airbnbs, and I've only got so much kit that I can carry in my one suitcase. So I can't carry around a podcast studio. So some of you will have heard me talk and laugh in the past about trying to make a soundproof space to make my podcasts, and that if you hear roosters in the background or traffic, it's likely because I'm in some random location and I'm picking up all of the sounds of some foreign destination for you. So often I sit inside a cupboard or like a closet to try to get a soundproof environment. So I just thought it would make you giggle that right now I'm sitting on the floor. I've got pillows all around my podcast microphone to try to make a little soundproofed, like it's like a pillow fort, like when you're a kid. So yes, this is the glamorous podcast recording professional setup that we have today. So yes, let's dive in, magic and miracles. Now, I'm going to share this episode from the perspective of people are often feeling stuck and they're wanting support from the unseen dimension and they're wanting a miracle. And if you're on the spiritual path, you feel it in your bones that there is some kind of support beyond the seen, beyond the physical world. And you don't know why you know it, you just know. And the reason you know, even though you want more evidence for your mind to really believe it, the reason you know that magic and miracles are real is because there is a part of you that is your soul, and it is constantly in remembrance of who you really are, where you come from, and the truth about life. And then there's your mind that's trying to catch up and is trying to piece together real world physical evidence to prove it so that your mind can fully get on board, right? And when we are usually listening to like podcasts or reading books about miracles, it's usually because we want miracles, and usually the reason we want them is because something is not flowing and we feel stuck, and so we're looking seemingly outside of ourselves to get help, right? We might have run out of options, asking people we know, trying to forge our way in the masculine energy of do, to figure out how to improve a situation, overcome a goal, a challenge, or achieve a goal. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of things about miracles and how I view this, right? To help you get in a really released, flowing, calm, beautiful energy about miracles. Miracles, as I relate to them, are this: a shift in your perception or a shift in your situation that occur spontaneously from something outside of your control, from something beyond you, okay? So a miracle being a shift in your perception or a shift in your situation that occurs spontaneously, meaning you don't force it or do it, and coming from something beyond you, outside of you. And I've studied A Course in Miracles since about 2015, and other spiritual teachings, and obviously have explored and played with this in my own life. And some of the most awesome miracles that have occurred for me in my life have not been miracles where something outside of me occurs to change my situation, but instead a spontaneous arising of a shift in perception that has been really radically life-changing. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because I want you to remember that sometimes the miracle you will get if you ask for a miracle is not necessarily going to be that something divine comes along and just changes your life situation for you and it's all served up and everything's taken care of, but rather a shift in your perception that will alter your reality and send you on a new trajectory by which your life then begins to shift from the inside out because you shifted, because something dawned upon your awareness, an insight arose spontaneously. Now, when you have a dawning of a new realization, a spontaneous shift in perception, a rising lightning bolt strike of inspiration, where do you think that is coming from? It is not coming from the library of data that is your mind, which is just a collection of all the things you believe and think and have experienced, been educated in and been exposed to through your life to date. Inside your mind is just like a library of stuff that's been recorded. But you are divine, you are limitless, and you are a soul connected to the infinity of divine intelligence that from which all of creation springs forth. So you want to think about this. There is the oneness, creator, divine, universal intelligence. And then you're down here in your body with your little mind with only limited data that you've collected in this lifetime. A miracle shift in your perception is where that divine intelligence breaks through your conscious thinking mind awareness and gifts you a shift in perception. It's like it breaks through the veil from the unseen, into the seen dimension, into your thinking mind, and inserts a new something, a new idea, a new awareness, a new inspiration. And so when we ask for a miracle to help us in our life, just be aware it can be inwardly, this shift, or it could be an outward shift in a situation. Something miraculously changes out there with a person, a problem, something you're waiting on, a goal you want to achieve, right information at the right time comes along, synchronicities, beautiful things like that can unfold. The thing with miracles is that because we're so used to being human doings, we do, and we're very masculine about that. So I've got to figure this out. I need to find the answer. I'm going to do my way into a solution. Like the unseen dimension is not doing. The realm of miracles is not about what you do. It is about your state of being. And when you are in a state of being that is open and receptive and allowing and trusting, you are aligned to connect with that unseen dimension. You are open. Your heart is open and your mind is open versus being shut down. It's like having a flap on your mind and your heart, or a door on your mind and heart. And when we're in the doing mode, often we are closed down and we've lost connection to something bigger and greater. And so you just want to think about miracles as we need to be soft, receptive and open in order to connect with these. And the challenge being this: often when you really need a miracle, like you're really stuck, your mind is in a flurry and your emotional state is on edge and you feel shut down. And so there's a great surrender occurs when we want to sit back and ask for a miracle. We want to go within, we want to become still, we want to become quiet, We want to soften. We want to calm our mind and body, and we want to open our heart. And all it is just take a chill pill for a moment, right? Like I say that with love because I've had to experience this myself. When we want a miracle, we want to take a chill pill. We want to step back. We want to sit. We want to go within. We want to become in a state of relief and release. And that makes us open. And the next thing I'll share before I give you some steps about miracles, to put this in a practical sense, the next thing that I wanted to share with you is that when we ask for a miracle, one of the most beautiful things that you can do is to say, I need a miracle with regards to, so my health, my relationship, my career, whatever it is. And I'm open and willing and ready to receive a miracle, shift in my perception or shift in this situation. And may the highest good be done. The last few words, and may the highest good be done. The reason I'm saying this is because if we say, I really need a miracle, please can you make that person do the thing I want them to do? Or I really need a miracle, please make sure that I don't lose my job. Or I really need a miracle, please make it so that I get this opportunity. Well, you don't know that the highest good is you getting that opportunity. You don't know that keeping that job is the right thing for you in a higher perspective. You don't know that the person that you want to do X, Y, Z, them doing that is the highest good. Instead, what we're really doing when we ask for a miracle and we dictate what it should be is we're trying to put our will from our human mind and our limited data and understanding, we're trying to force that upon life. So what a really nice thing to do is if you want to be intentional and you still want to ask for something very specific, by all means go for it. And just tag on the end, I really need a miracle. Please help me with a miracle with regards to my relationship, my career, my whatever. I would really love for this to happen, or may the highest good be done. So that you're leaving it open and you're acknowledging that there is something bigger, wiser, more magical than possibly you can even conceive that needs to come out of this situation, okay? One more thing about asking for miracles is this. You do not need to beg for a miracle. You do not need to plead for a miracle. You are not desperate for a miracle. You are not an inferior being asking a superior force for help. You are not down on your knees in a state of powerlessness, hoping something divine is going to come down and save you. In fact, it's not even asking for a miracle, which denotes someone has to answer you and be kind enough to give you something if you ask. It's not that. Okay, and that's often where we go when we think about asking, praying, calling upon a miracle. What you're really doing when you invoke a miracle is you are saying, I am soul, I am source, I am the I am. Creation, divinity, a higher intelligence is what breathes me, what beats my heart, what gave life to me. I am one with it. It is me and I am it. Everything is one, everything is unified, and I am calling upon a reorganization of intelligence and energy in myself and in this situation so that I may raise myself in consciousness to understand better, to be better, to do better, to find the most flowing path forward. And I am part of that. I am one with that. And so it's like an opening to the greater isness of who you are, not that you're a separate little being down here in planet Earth trying to get something outside of you to come down and help you. That denies who you really are, and it puts you in a very fractious, uncomfortable energy that you are powerless and you are hoping some greater power will come into your life and help you. And instead of understanding you are the greater power, it is in you and all around you. And when you recognize that God, nature, divinity, intelligence, life force within you and all around you, and you soften and allow it to lead, is you've removed a block. Because seeing ourselves as separate and small and weak and inferior and pleading and begging and asking, that immediately puts us into a very difficult energy state, right? It puts us into fear and stress and doubt and worry and isolation and aloneness. And that's not who you are. That might be how you feel, and that's okay if you feel that way. But that's actually not who you are. And all you have to do is just listen to me for a moment and take a breath, put your hand on your heart, maybe put your fingers on your pulse point, on your wrist or on your neck, and understand that something is beating your heart and breathing you, and it isn't you. It is something greater than you. It is within you. And so what you're asking for help for and from is within you and all around you. You are it. And so what you're saying is, I am divine, and I am calling upon a divine intervention of miracles from within me and around me to resynchronize myself with who I really am and where I really come from, such that I may see the highest path forward in this situation. And what it does is it brings you out of forcing and figuring out and trying hard with your mind, and it just puts you back into sync with the greater perspective of who you are. It's like it brings all parts of yourself online. So instead of my mind is running the show, it's like I am mind, I am body, I am soul, I am source, I am the unified totality of all of these things. And I am opening myself to let miraculous energy flow to me, through me, and from me. And when I do that, I'm no longer feeling cut off, isolated, or small. So here's a couple of tips about miracles when we want to go and ask for a miracle. Number one, there is no special way to ask for a miracle. You can ask for it in whatever way you want. You could be Buddhist, you could be Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be atheist. There is no language that allows you to have a miracle or denies you to have a miracle. Use the language of your faith, use the language of your heart. You don't even need to say words. You can just put a hand on your heart and say that you, within yourself, that you are love and you are source and you're opening yourself to support. There is no specific words you must use or way you must do it. It's all just about relaxing, releasing, honouring yourself, that you are part of something much bigger, and being willing and open for it to support you. And so don't get caught up on, was I heard? Did I ask right? Should I do something more? Do I need to meditate for longer? Do I need to, use a specific way of invoking a miracle? What am I doing wrong? Why is nothing happening? All of that is just carries you further and further away into mind noise and emotional pain. The next thing is, in whatever way you decide to sit with yourself and to relax and to open your heart and call upon, invite a miracle shift in your perception or your situation, you want to be patient. And if you're thinking, oh no, I'm not patient, I understand. When you invoke a miracle, it might rise in your awareness within 5 minutes. Something might shift in your situation within 5 hours. Or you might notice nothing for 5 days or 5 weeks. But you can know this. When you ask and invoke, you are heard, and everything moves in the highest good. For you, and not just for you, but for the whole picture to which you belong. Because remember, you're not the only moving piece in this puzzle. You are part of a unified whole. And so part of the spiritual journey is to understand that, yes, you are the center of your reality because you're experiencing it through being human and your mind and all your wants and needs, but you're part of something much bigger with many people and many moving parts at play and a fabric of energy that is beautiful and layered and, yes, complex. And a great deal of trust arises to call upon the miracle and to trust in the unfolding of your life. that it will not be a moment too late or a moment too soon, whatever that miracle turns out to be. And I love a saying from A Course in Miracles that goes something like this: those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. Those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. And so, isn't that interesting? Because when we don't really believe in this incredible divine aspect to reality, this energetic nature of reality, or you might call it a quantum nature of reality or a higher intelligence, or whatever you might call it in your own religious and belief system, when we don't really believe in that, like we do all the things and we read all the scripts and we do all the rituals, but we don't really believe it, then when it comes to rubber meets the road, we feel fearful and anxious. And so there comes a point on your journey where, through your own free will or through force, because life pushes you up against the wall, you surrender. You throw your hands up and you go, I have no option but to surrender to that there is something bigger than me. And sometimes it's a choice in your mind alone to just go, I am going to trust and believe, because I refuse to walk a life that's filled with mistrust and disbelief, because it just feels awful. So I'm just going to choose to deeply trust, to deeply believe, and to deeply surrender. So whether it is a natural path that you feel patience and trust, or whether you choose to make that your path and you set your mind onto that path, whichever way, patience is key. Because you don't control divinity. You don't control all of the energy that's moving through this reality, right? All you can do is be in your most conscious state, be the most intentional you can, and be the most connected you can by living not from your mind, but from a softness from your heart, from an openness, a presence, being here in this moment. Which leads to the next point, and that is, while you're patient, know this: miracles are sometimes and often very subtle. Very, very, very subtle. So, for example, you might ask for a miracle shift in a situation, and you're waiting for the situation to change, big obvious things to change outside of you. Meanwhile, the miracle has already occurred inside your mind. You've been given insights, you've been given arising inspirations, but you've not noticed or not paid attention or not acted on them. And so when you ask for a miracle, pay attention to what you dream about. Pay attention to what ideas float into your mind as you drift to sleep or as you wake in the morning. Those are times when we're very receptive to divine guidance as we drift from deep sleep up into full waking state, and vice versa when we're going into sleep. Be very aware of arising inspirations into your mind throughout the day. Be very aware of thoughts that are unusual to you that seem to drift in as you go about your day. So maybe in a situation where there's conflict or difficulty, if you have an unusually soft thought that seems really like contrary to your personality or nature about that issue, like thoughts about detachment, thoughts about non-judgment, thoughts about forgiving, thoughts about being more open-minded, pay attention. If those are not your normal kinds of thoughts about that situation, a miracle is occurring as a shift in your perception. Likewise, if you are fixated on, I want a certain outcome outside of myself, and the situation starts shifting, but it starts shifting in a direction that is not what you asked for, pay close attention. Because remember, we don't always get what our mind wants, but we get what our soul needs for sure. So if you, for example, don't want to lose your job and you ask for a miracle, please don't let this job be made redundant, and then you get made redundant, you want to really, really deeply go inside of yourself and say, I am open to the fact that even though this is the worst thing that I could imagine happening right now, this might be the miracle I asked for and I just can't see it. Because maybe I'm being sent on a new trajectory in my career. Maybe this wasn't where I was meant to be. Maybe something greater exists for me. Same thing with relationships, starting or ending, chapters of your seasons of your life, starting or ending. So what we have to do is get out of our fixated ideas about how things should be. And if we ask for a miracle, start to be really curious about what's going on inside of us and outside of us, and how, not even how, but just pondering, I wonder in what way this may benefit me, this new idea, this new unfolding of this situation. And the last thing is, when you receive a shift in your perception or a shift in your situation, take action. Because miracles are like the unseen dimension dawning a shift upon you or upon your life to help open the way, and then your job is to step into the way. So divinity isn't going to live your life for you because your soul didn't sign up for that. But it will help and prompt you and nudge you so that you can then step forth and flow forward. So in all situations, have you taken the action you know in your heart you need to take? Are you being accountable and responsible in the ways that you know that you need to in this area that you're asking for a miracle? Because a miracle will not arise to do your life for you, because it would not serve your highest good for that to happen. Right? So even stepping back before you ask for a miracle, just ask yourself, am I asking for a miracle in a situation where I know full well I actually just need to take action and I'm afraid, and so I'm hiding, and I'm going to ask for a miracle to sort it for me so I don't have to take action? And why is this important? Because think about this, if your soul signed up to come and learn courage or confidence, how does it ever serve you for life to give you miracles to just resolve everything, which are your opportunities to learn, grow, and stand up? And the answer is it doesn't. Like, I've had times in my life where I feel like I've been backed up against a wall, and I really, really felt like almost a desperate need for an intervention, divine intervention. And in retrospect, I can see that being backed up against the wall was the divine intervention. It put me there on purpose, because I would not have stood up for myself, and I would not have had my courage and confidence rise had I not been forced to to learn my life lessons in those areas. So a miracle arising in that situation would not have been life helping me out and fixing the outer situation. The miracle was being put in a situation where it was going to aid me, force me to stand up and be the person I came here to be. So I want you to think about that for yourself. If you're ever in a really tough situation, ask, what might my soul and higher intelligence be asking of me in this moment? How might I help myself? What am I not doing? Is there anything I'm avoiding? Who do I want to be in this moment? And at the same time, hey, I'd love a miracle. So come on and give me a shift in perception and a shift in my situation, and I'll play the game with you, and I'll stand up at the same time. And we'll make magic together. We'll co-create magic together. Me, my soul, and source, right? So I hope this has been helpful for you as a conversation to delve into this beautiful area of magic and miracles. Before I sign off, if you are listening to this at the time of the release, I think it's going to be early February. So here are a couple of ways I can help you if this episode has resonated with you. Number one is this. I have a 30-day series called Mindset for Miracles. And if you are like, I really want to align myself with my soul and source, really shift my perception into this higher level of detachment and openness, and I would love more miracles in my life like this, then that 30-day series, Mindset for Miracles, is available to you in two ways. Number one, you can join the Soul Odyssey program with me, which is an epic, comprehensive spiritual and personal development program, which is amazing. And the Mindset for Miracles 30-day experience is one of the accelerator modules inside that program. Okay, Soul Odyssey takes you through the 11 stages of your life journey as a soul and helps you with mastery of your soul, mind, emotions, and energy for how to co-create your life, live your soul plan and purpose, have magic. And inside each chapter are accelerator modules. Okay, there's like 20 very powerful accelerators, and Mindset for Miracles is one of them. Okay, so that's one way that you can advance on your journey, and I'll be alongside you every step of the way in that program. I give you live support. The second way that you can get support with me, and not just for miracles, but more broadly for whatever's going on in your life, is that at the time of recording this, I have spaces open for one-to-one coaching in my 1 month package. If you are going to join me from listening to this episode for a 1 month one-on-one coaching package with weekly sessions and unlimited email support with me for the whole month, I will gift you the 30-day Mindset for Miracles audio series free as my welcome to you into coaching. To be able to get access to either of these offers, for the first one, the program, go to bernadettelogue.com and click program. Okay, and you can sign yourself up immediately, come in and join the community, get live support, and you'll be able to dive in, do the program and Mindset for Miracles. For the second option, you need to email me to support@bernadettelogue.com, put in the subject line miracles. And when I get that email and I see that subject line, I'm going to email you back all the details for one-on-one coaching for a 1 month package so you can make an informed decision. And if you're joining me, I will gift you the Mindset for Miracles 30-day series as part of that package. So it's been a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm excited to share the next episode coming up really soon.
Thanks for listening to Practical Spirituality with B. I'll talk to you next episode for more spiritual advice for your everyday life, helping you align with your soul so you can live with purpose, fulfillment, and magic.